Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this brand new day. It is Saturday as I record this. Thumbs up. It is dim and gray outside. Yay, but last night when I went out walking, I cracked my knuckles there from pain. Yay. When I went walkies last night, it was a clear sky. It was pretty chill, very good. But even at the end of my walkies, as cold as it was outside, I still had to unbutton my plaid shirt that I used as a coat and keep my safety vest unzipped because I got too warm. Yay! Hopefully you were able to sleep. I was up early. Oh joy, good old discomfort and pain. Still, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people who are, in fact, literally beautiful and literally awesome, helping to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing. If she could thank you, she would, but I will thank you for her. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to help us keep us both metabolizing, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, as well as links to a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wish list link with things like pet food, and a post office box where I will show off on camera anything at all, anything that anybody sends me. Thumbs up, thank you much, greatly appreciated, and hey, front-loading a video is over. Yay! Here's something that I hadn't planned on talking about, but now I'm going to talk about it because it is kind of disturbing. I have gotten to the point now when I cough for any real reason, like, I've got junk here that needs to come up, or I've just taken a hit off of a bowl of cannabis, and then I have to cough because, irritation of my lungs. I get really, really dizzy, sometimes to the point where I'm glad I'm sitting down because I almost pass out. And it doesn't take much to make it do that, just 3 or 4 coughs and I am, and things are getting a little bit fuzzy in my vision. That's disturbing for 2 reasons. Number 1, that's like symptoms of hypoxia, lack of oxygen to your brain. Now, there's a couple of reasons that could be. One of the things that you got to be careful of, no matter how young or old you are, when you hold your breath and then bear down, like if you're trying to lift a weight or move an object, or if you're trying to move your bowels, that causes pressure in your chest, which forces the blood out and downward out of your heart, and then you can pass out because of that, because of lack of blood to your brain. Also, another reason that can happen is when you bear down lifting something or some such, the pressure squeezes the aorta that runs through your abdomen down to your legs shut. And then that hypoxia can cause problems. As well as, I'm not sure if my coughing could be squeezing the aorta shut that's leading up to my brain. Or it could be something else completely terrible. I don't know. Maybe I should check into this, like go see a doctor or something. Unfortunately, the only doctor I have is the Veterans Administration, and they have actively told me as a veteran, don't come here. If you need medical help, go to your local ER. They are stressed to the point where the doctor that I last saw has over 1,000 veterans he's taking care of. It's bad. So joy. Still though, I'm gonna see what I can do. Now I'm checking my list because I've got a fair number of tiny things that I want to talk about. One of which is, I do have a friend on Facebook. Never met them in person, of course. They're an online friend. But we've talked about this, that, and the other. And one thing that's happened is they do have a GoFundMe set up. They have a partner, and the partner is needing some top surgery, and it's going to take money. And so I don't know which side where the link would be, but there's a link to a GoFundMe if you'd like to check that out, if you'd like to help. Of course, you're under no pressure to do so, but it could be a good thing if you could check that out. Definitely a thumbs up, and thank you. Also, now I'm going to talk about this one because Jesse Koskinen had talked about the Dragon's Dogma. Now, I don't know which version I have. I have the PC version on Steam. I don't know if they had the version that came out without all the DLC together, or if I have the version that is the Dark Arisen just for the PC. I don't have Steam loaded up so that I can check. So in the comments I talked about how I have the game, and I can't really play the game anymore because I had the best possible ending for the game. Now I've talked about this before, but with my time blindness, it was probably a couple years back. So I don't mind telling people about it again, because people like Jesse Koskinen have not heard the story. Now, I have made no real secret of the fact that I am really into soft vor, which is people being swallowed whole and then digested alive. For whatever reason, that gets my blood flowing and I start feeling frisky. Now, we don't know what and why we like things. We go through life and we discover what we like. This is one of the things I discovered about myself that I like. Now, in the game, Dragon's Dogma, if you don't know the game, you start off as a character who has their heart ripped out of their chest by a dragon, but you don't die. And then there's all these things that happen as you adventure, and at one point you sleep in a camp, and as like the dividing between one act and another, you fight and kill a Hydra, and you take the head of the Hydra onward to prove that you are a brave and valiant warrior. Now, what can happen while you're fighting? Well, first off, of course, is you have pawns that are NPC characters, and they actually are just plain NPCs. There's regular people in the world, and then there are pawn stones. And you talk to the pawn stone, and a person shows up. And they say, I am a pawn, and they are just to help you. Their existence is solely dependent on you. They exist for you as a pawn. And you can have a couple of these. I think it's like maximum of 2. But at this point, my character had been dashing around and doing things, and then I reached that point where we had to fight the Hydra. Now, if you're unlucky as a character, you can get swallowed by one of the Hydra heads. Now, that's not game over. It takes time. And so you get swallowed down, slowly traveling down that throat. And so you've got time that your pawns can save you, or if you're playing co-op with other people, they can save you. So generally, starting to being swallowed by the Hydra is not a danger. I mean, it's just something that, for someone like me going, oh, that's really nice. And for everyone else, it's just another danger that you have to deal with. I got caught in such a point that the Hydra head that swallowed my character was in a place where the pawns couldn't get to. And the Hydra wasn't moving as it swallowed my character. And so for a long, long time, there's this struggling bulge moving down the Hydra's throat. And then finally, it gets down into the body, and then when that happens, it's finally game over. And so the game ended. The pawns were running around yelling, arisen or awakened or whatever the heck they call it. I can't remember, it's been that long. They're going, we're going to save you. And they couldn't. They could not get to the Hydra head. It was locked behind a fence. They couldn't travel through the fence. They were stuck. And so my character just spent like that 5 minutes slowly getting swallowed until game over. I can't play anymore. For both my character and for me, that was the best possible ending. She was swallowed whole and is going to be digested alive by the Hydra. There can't be a better ending for me. I mean, that's perfect. That's a great character arc. That's wonderful. And then, of course, for her, yeah, I figure role-playing wise, she's being swallowed by this thing. The pawns are yelling, we'll save you, and she's just, no, come and check back on me in a couple hours. I'll be okay, don't worry about me. I'm just, and then slowly getting swallowed, and it was like, awakened one, whatever the hell they call her. Yes, we have to save you. If you get swallowed into the stomach, there's no help for you. We have to save you. And Jesus, no, just don't even, just come back and awakened one. Perfect ending, both for her and for me. I can't play the game. I'll never get a better ending than that one. Thumbs up. And speaking of course like this, there's another couple of things I wanted to talk about, all on the whole, well, first this one. 77 Arcturus, of which I'm glad to see you in the comments. Hopefully thumbs up. I'll continue to see people in the comments. I always feel sad when I get to know a name and then they vanish. But mention not being able to process death. I talked about this one as well a couple years ago, how it's when I got married, my wife and her parents and my parents were all involved in the marriage. And so there were the 6 of us as a group, a unit sort of thing, where it was I and my wife, my 2 parents, her 2 parents. And then in 2014, my wife died. And before I had a chance to finish processing that, my mother died. And then my mother-in-law died. And then my father-in-law died. And then my father died. So that, as I spoke with my therapist, is kind of rough. I mean, in 2013, the year before my wife died, there were still the 6 of us that had been involved in the marriage only 11 years earlier. And then starting in 2014 to 2021, suddenly I'm the only one left. And that's a heavy duty feeling, especially when all the people that I grew up listening to and watching on television and all that, like when Beck, the musical artist, just recently died of old age. That was like, oh my God. So yeah, it's joyous that way. I haven't even had a chance to finish processing the death of my wife before there's another at least 4. I'm not going to mourn my father-in-law's passing. Everybody else, yeah. But one of the things I was thinking about on the creative front with the cryptid stuff, going back onto the whole concept of human beings as food for cryptids, since there is the Uncle Bonbons that you can go to, they do have people that go out and talk and try to get people to volunteer. And I figured it would be actually not a bad thing, and people would actually listen to and do it because of this. Now, remember that only a certain type of person is going to be attracted to this sort of thing. So it is only a very small market of people that are being looked for. And it is among these people that this happens. So when you find a type of person who is very inclined to say yes, you can't really be too surprised when they say yes. They're the kind of person you're looking for who's already inclined to do so. But it's actually a not bad way of looking at it when they say something along the lines of, how do you want to be remembered? How do you want to live your life? Do you want to live to an old age, feeling yourself getting weaker, more fatigued, more pained as you get older, watching your friends pass, feeling sadness as you falter, as your friends die, and then when finally you go, leaving nothing but sadness and crying? Is this how you want to be remembered? Or do you want to be remembered and looked back with a smile at a memory of your existence? You can bring happiness to this world. We have festivals where we have children, cryptid children running around, and they love candy floss human hair. When you sprinkle human hair with a binding agent and then put the human blood plasma sweetening on it, it is a joy to see the smile on these children's faces and hear their laughter as they run and play and eat their candy. You can bring smiles to people's faces. I have seen people, as they have tried eating and thoroughly enjoyed a bowl of human skin cracklings, deep fried human skin, where they have literally stopped and said to the bowl of cracklings they were eating, I do not know how or why you decided to give yourself up to me, but thank you so much. You have been delicious and appreciated. You can bring smiles and happiness into the world. When someone has a sandwich made out of you, they will have a smile of pleasure and joy at your flavor. You can bring pleasure and happiness into the world. Do you want to be remembered with tears? Or do you want to be remembered with smiles of pleasure, happiness, and nostalgia? We get a chance to live every single day, but you can only die once. Do you want to leave behind tears, or do you want to leave behind happiness? And for the people that go and they push this ad, yeah, they're already inclined to say yes. After a pitch like that, yeah, a lot of them just say yes. And they go to Uncle Bonbon's processing center, and they come out the other side as broken down pieces and then snacks and food. Thumbs up for that. It's a good pitch, though. I can't say I'd do it. I was going to say I'd go for that, but no. Even though one of the pitch points they give is, we are all going to die anyway. So choose to die your own way instead of just letting random fate do it for you. And of course, one of the other things is I've been thinking more of just the character of Lou, who is a mafia type enforcer for an up-and-coming crime lord, Anthony Sclera. No major revelations on things that are going on. It's just working on how and why they are where they are. And I figure that Anthony Sclera and Lou, because as a young child, Anthony was that close to the edge of already expressing their genes before they even got into puberty and their cryptid genes would express. Then they just developed the sight. Their third eye opened, their vision cleared, and they could see the world as it really is. They were close enough, even as a child, that they could see and interact with characters like Lou. And Lou was a young cryptid, and Anthony was a young person, and as young kids, they just bonded, grew up together. And now, as a young mid-20s individual, Anthony Sclera, with his moderately strong sight, not so far that he can't deal with humanity and other people can't deal with him, but strong enough that he can interact with a lot of the cryptid world. Well, Lou and Anthony are still best friends, and Lou has helped build Anthony's empire because as an enforcer, as a cryptid enforcer, yeah, when he goes to make you vanish, and it takes like 2 or 3 hours for you to digest enough for him to get around, but yeah, can't find a body when it leaves in somebody's stomach. So, they work well. I want to actually have stories about them, so I'm going to be keeping on working with Lou and all that. Lou is the type of individual that when he's waiting for one of his targets to show up, he'll be reading like a James Joyce book, Ulysses or Finnegan's Wake. So he's that kind of person, and then we'll talk about it with the person that he's going to eat to express his frustrations, how he wishes he could understand it better. And then, of course, he just eats them. And then listens to an audiobook of either smooth improvisational jazz or somebody reading something like Finnegan's Wake on audiobook as he digests all that new meat in his belly. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, we have Jesse Koskinen. Thumbs up. Thank you. Good to see you in the comments. And hopefully you will do a much better job at playing Dragon's Dogma than I. Then we have Chris, thumbs up, thank you very much, and good to see you. There is DUREW, thumbs up, and they are very fun. I love all these solo RPG things. 77 Arcturus, thumbs up, thank you much. Once again, you have a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I've once again run out of time to talk about them. So hopefully soon, and good to see you, definitely. We have Smoke 003723, who has information that is actually very, very good. Then there's Floramu, thumbs up, good to see you. And that is it. 6 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Hey, it's very, very few of you, but anything more than 0 is double plus good. So, today being today and such, it being a weekend, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm going to try not to fall asleep. Hypoxia as I'm sleeping sucks. I don't want to have a heart attack or a stroke because I stopped breathing while I was sleeping. Nor do I want to have a heart attack or a stroke because I'm doing damage to my body when I cough. Yay! Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done. That would be very awesome and cool. And of course, wherever you are, if people are getting sick, try taking precautions so you don't get sick either. If people are getting hurt where you are, try not going where all the damage is being done. I mean, you know. And of course, if you're out walking and you hear the mournful howl of that bus horn, the bus with your name on it, the best thing to do is just hunker down and wait, because it's gonna get you. Hiding ain't gonna help. That bus is gonna impact you and your corpse is gonna smear. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is in fact a very good thing.